right, everyone. Welcome back to the Code 3 Paranormal Podcast.
Hello.
Zoomcast.
Hi.
Zoom
Zoomcast.
podcast.
Yeah, the Zoom podcast.
Zoomcast.
It's the Zoomcast.
Zoomcast. All right. There we go. That's what I'm gonna start naming it.
The
Um,
Zoomcast.
the
Code
Zoomcast.
3 Paranormal Zoomcast.
Right. I feel like this
You know
light
what?
is so bright.
I thought about it last time, like when we were sharing pictures. Those people who don't watch us, but they listen to us still, they're probably like, what are they looking at? What is it?
Right. Maybe
What is
then they'll have
that?
to go to the YouTube channel we now
Right?
have, Code 3,
And subscribe.
and
So you can
subscribe.
see. Yeah.
And you can see what we're looking at now.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people listen to us on drives. It tends to be like one of the things, but
hmm
we'll see how the YouTube goes and we'll put them on there for a while. If
Yeah.
it goes good, we'll keep it that way. So
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, Mish, today. What is today?
Today is February 5th. It's
Very
Sunday.
I'm gonna say
nice.
the same thing.
Very nice. Beyond that, what is our podcast?
I just thought we would discuss like some misconceptions of what people think about paranormal stuff. Like, I guess the myths, if you want to call it. I
Right.
just wanted to see, if some of us are in agreement with some of the things that they talk about, or do we just think it's total crap?
Right.
know?
No, I
Yeah,
dig that. I think it's a great idea. I don't think, we've never really talked too much on what we think is garbage, what's true, and what people think, and how they view us as ghost hunters and UFO and alien finders.
well, I mean, because we've had podcasts where we talk about aliens. I'm
Right.
not like 100% sold on aliens, but it
Right.
doesn't
Right,
mean
nor am
that,
I.
yeah, but it doesn't mean that I won't sit and discuss, and whatever. But there are some people out there who have these theories or thoughts or whatever that it's aliens, number one. They're green, they have weird shaped heads, huge eyes. Okay, I think that's just like a movie thing, but that's what we're taught to think what aliens look like.
Right.
So I feel like that's one of the misconceptions on paranormal is what they look like.
Right. I wish I could remember off the top of my head. I did hear at one point where that came from. It did come from a book or something like that, the drawings. Of course, everything comes from somebody's first thing.
Right.
But
Like what? Like the little green Martian men?
yeah,
Right.
it was supposedly somebody that is what they saw, either being abducted or a dream. And then somebody wrote like the first book, and then that became kind of the go-to for how they look. Big eyes, round head, no hair.
Little
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bodies,
So I can't remember the full.
green.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it became gray. And that became more of with Roswell is where the grays came from, a lot of that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
see, and I'm not
So
100% believer of aliens, but I think it's possible that some humans could be aliens. Just saying.
well, I
I
mean, I think we can all
I
agree that there's life out there somewhere, that there's no way it's just us. Because statistically speaking, they said that it's like a billion or 8 billion chance or some shit like that, that there's other life because of how much is out there and how much, the nerdy math guys know their stuff on how much life or how many planets we can see. And then they multiply by what we can't see and they do all their nonsense. Says it's like an 8 billion chance that there's multiple lives out there, which I totally believe because there's no way we just magically have formed over all these years. Nobody else had the Big Bang or God created us.
Right.
No, hell no. I would create whatever I could if I was him, if he exists. So I think there's other life. Now, whether they're visiting us, that's the question. So I mean, we'll just stay on the aliens. We'll start with that. Adam, what do you think? And let's go first. Are you a believer in aliens existing, period?
Yeah, I think like we said, there's something out there. Again, I don't know if it's, ET phone home or little green Martians running around,
Right, right.
but yeah, there's got to be something else out there besides us.
Okay. Do you think they've came here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go through that real quick so everyone has an Amber. you've already kind of mentioned you're not really a believer, but do you think there's life out there?
I think there's life out there, but like I said before, I think we talked last one or the one before, or whatever. Like how do you know we're not the aliens? You know,
Right.
what classifies it as an alien? How do we know we're humans? And I
I'm an
feel like this is
alien. I'm just playing.
Right.
As
Right.
human.
She
Right?
is alien. She doesn't have her green card yet. So, oh,
Exactly.
I was born a
Don't
U.S. citizen,
worry,
asshole.
Troy will marry you to get you.
right.
Oh, that was a
Oh,
burn.
burn, burn.
Amber, don't worry. I wouldn't stoop that low. You're
I
good.
know. I know.
Okay.
So,
Hey, you're gonna burn her. I gotta burn you. So
Right,
I
right.
can go. Hello.
Hello. I don't know. He probably had to
the
go.
aliens abducted him.
So,
They're
so
probing
everybody
him.
knows Adam's not feeling good, but he's a trooper being here, so he may pop in and out. So Amber, you don't think they've come here and visited and probed our booty holes and all that?
I mean, maybe other forms of life have, sure, just like we go to other planets, they could be exploring ours, just like we go explore other planets too.
We would totally kidnap their ass and chip them and
I
do
mean,
all
have
this
we been
stuff.
probing people's booty holes out there? I mean, they probe our booty holes, maybe. I don't know.
Right,
Troy
right.
looks like he wants to probe your booty hole.
He wants to
Mm-hmm.
probe that booty hole.
I don't want that
I mean,
sickness he's got right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to go blow my nose. I figured I wouldn't do it right here on camera.
Right. And we told
I
everybody
mean,
you
we
were
don't
not
care.
feeling too good.
Maybe next time I'll just turn my camera up. Like,
Right.
Well, you can mute your microphone and just turn your video on, and it'll just say like the A or whatever.
Right. A
Yeah.
for
For
asshole.
anal.
A for anal.
what?
Oh,
What?
All
Oh.
right.
that's what she
Hey,
said. Amber said anal, not me. I just
So
repeated it.
I don't
Mish,
know. When I came back, there was a lot of talking about booty holes and now anal, and I must have missed
hey,
something.
when
We were
you
talking about
missed
how
out on the
Troy wanted to
aliens,
probe your booty.
Well, of course. I mean,
yeah,
he's only human.
right,
Just not right now because you're
right,
sick.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll wait a few days. Mish, do you think there is abductions?
I'm not sure. If I base it off things that I've read, then yes. If I base off of what I think is possible or plausible, and maybe not so much. But I mean, it's possible that someone got abducted, not in the way that they show, like being beamed up into a
Right,
spaceship, but maybe,
Right.
like a kidnapping, like, oh, I'm going to take you and I'm going to do some tests on you.
right.
Maybe they weren't aliens. Maybe they were humans that were dressed a certain way and that's all they remember about it,
Well, I
Like
think
the government wore some kind of fucking silly ass suit and kidnapped someone and started poking around, and this
right.
person woke up and was like, "Oh, that looks like a different life form, and they're
The Men
sticking
in
something
Black.
in my butt." Like maybe that's just what they woke up and remembered, and that's how that became a thing.
You
And
got to
we
think that when you come out of surgery, you act, you see, you be really
and you
weird.
say some weird shit. Yes.
Yeah. So
Those are
how do
funny
you know you're
videos,
not
too.
hallucinating?
right,
Those
they are
funny
funny
videos.
videos.
Yeah, I
Now,
wish
we
I
talked
could
about
be
it.
weird.
We talked about it once. There was 70 people to come out. Well, they found out it was 70 people that had been abducted by this guy who did decorate his van up and make it look like a UFO. And he was drugging them, kidnapping them, raping them, and he would wear a fucking alien suit. So literally for years, there was like 70 people it was in California that were like, I was kidnapped by the aliens and this and that. And I mean, they were drugged, so their memory's all foggy, and so they really believed it. Come to find out, it
Yeah,
was
and then
this
they woke
fucking
up and their
weirdo.
butthole hurt, and they were like, "I got
Right.
probed."
I got
Well, you
Right.
didn't just get probed; you got booty fucked.
Right,
I mean,
exactly. So I mean, that
hey.
is plausible for some of those. I think it's a mixture of all. I think some of it would be our government because we know they've tested on our own people. Everyone knows that. I mean, the CIA came out and said that's what they're doing with the freaking chemtrails. We know it's occurred in other countries in Europe where the government came out, admitted, and said, "Oh yeah, in the train station we admitted whatever gas," and then we followed these people, these subjects for, the next week of their life and saw how it affected them and blah, blah, blah. So I think some of it's the government. I think some of it's, crackheads like that are raping people. And I mean, that dude had it. He had a really smart idea, fucked up idea, but it was smart because knowing how people are, they saw a fucking alien. They know, the fucking drugs they use for the date rape and all that. Like, it leaves you foggy in the brain. So
Yep.
all they probably remember is like a crazy fucking UFO and an alien.
Well, nowadays they can make costumes into whatever you want.
Right.
Like, so,
And
they
so
took,
realistic. Look at the movies.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So they
Yeah.
probably took the idea or the concept of what they said aliens look like. And they're like, oh, well, I'm going to use this to my advantage. I'm going to be that creeper. I'm going to wear this. So if they ever do come to, they can see this is
Wasn't
what
a
it
human.
is. And,
Wasn't
and
me.
then,
It was aliens.
and then I'm going to wake up and my booty's going to hurt and I'm going to blame it on an alien probing me.
Right. Because
You
we all
know?
know that's where they probe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So one of the cool things that makes me think that aliens do abduct, but I'm with you, Michelle, on that. Like, I don't think they're beamed up. I do think they may chip us and stuff like that. And one of the cool things was my mom was seeing like one of the most world-renowned heart surgeons for years. And he mentioned that when he saw that I was into UFOs and stuff, he's like, "Oh, I got a cool little thing for you." During the pre-op of a surgery, they took an X-ray because this person had many surgeries, so they were making sure metals, where they're at, whatnot. And he found a little triangular device in the neck of one of his clients. And so he's like, "What is that?" The client's like, "I don't know. I've never had neck surgery." So, and they're like, "Well, we need to figure out what the heck that is." They end up going in, pulling it out, and he turns it in to his lab. They tested it, and it was no known material on Earth.
A foreign object.
For an object that is not found, never been associated with anything we've located on Earth. So, yeah, and they told him that. They said, "We don't know what it is, dude. It's nothing on this planet." And
How
they were
crazy
like,
would that be for them to say, "Hey, you've got something
Right.
in your neck. I'm going to pull it out, and guess what? We don't know what the fuck it is." How
and
scary is that?
these dumb fucks called the government, and of course that bitch is gone.
Of course.
But it was the fucking lab people that called them. It was like, dude, come on. We all know you don't call the fucking government.
Right.
That shit's gonna be gone. So keep testing it, doing whatever.
So is the person still alive that had it in their
I
neck?
was gonna
I'm,
say
I'm
that
surprised.
person has to be freaking the fuck out. Like,
I'm
what the
surprised
fuck
they
is wrong
didn't
with
kill
me?
him. I'm surprised they didn't kill him.
He, she, I don't know, female or male, but fucking it, whatever.
Don't judge it.
Don't judge it.
Shim.
Shim.
Non-binary.
Right, non-binary person. Yeah, still went through the surgery and everything. And I mean, last I knew, this was years ago, they were still alive, but they didn't know what it was. So the government probably left them alone, unless they were
How
like,
would
yeah.
you feel if this, like, some foreign body was in you?
Oh, I'd
that
freak
they
out.
have, like,
I'd
Well,
freak
and
out.
no one would tell you what it is, and then they just keep it hush hush because all of a sudden it's gone. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I'm alive. I still had something in my body. Explain it to me.
Right? Looking up at the
Yeah.
stars every goddamn night.
Yeah.
I'm just
So,
saying.
I mean, it
I'd
would
be
be
questioning
freaky,
my whole life.
but it would be cool too. I'd be like, wow, man, I may have been abducted. How fucking cool. And then I'd also be like, this is kind of freaky. Are they coming back? Like, so I don't know. Are they coming back to get that chip and get the data? Is the data transmitted?
Right.
So,
right.
um,
You guys are both very pixelated and you keep pausing. I'm just saying.
Is
I
the
don't
boy
know.
on the
is he on his
Hold on.
Xbox or did you kill that?
I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill. Well, the two other ones might be on there.
Oh.
Oh, she went sideways. The only good thing is on my end for the recording, it's all clear.
Well, good.
Oh.
That's good.
And there's no glitching on our end. So
Okay.
it may actually be your guys's. We'll see. We'll
No,
kill
but
the
it's
You
just
internet.
can
you
pause
two
it.
that are. It's just you two that are glitching out.
He can
Whatever.
pause the recording.
It's all good.
That's fine.
We've always gone through our dumb shit and while recording.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we're human. It's not like, or we're alien, whatever. But
Now
We're gonna have-
we'll go into that. One of the beliefs is like you said, are we alien? There's that belief. We talked about the DNA of blood, the RH something we talked about, like 10 podcasts ago.
Mhm.
And that was a
10
rare
podcasts ago.
that's like a rare blood type that they believe to be alien because it's super fucking rare and they don't know why people would have that blood type, and there's some weird things to it. So,
Mhm.
Adam, what do you think on that? Or do you think some of the humans running around are aliens?
Probably. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily like Men in Black where, they're dressed up as dogs and all of that, but I'm sure. I mean, I know there's been the theories that a lot of celebrities and athletes and all of that are actually aliens. So
That's true.
who
That's
knows?
true. Amber looks odd.
It's all those
She looks odd.
Scientology bitches.
Oh, Jesus, right? Those
Yeah.
crazy fools. Let's see what she's got
Yeah.
here.
And we live in the Scientology capital of the world.
Is it?
Well, close. Yeah,
I think
Clearwater.
Clearwater, yeah. Isn't that where you said it started or
Mm-hmm.
originated or something?
Are you
Yeah.
gonna
That's
are you
the
gonna try to join?
no,
Get your Theon levels tested, see where you're
no.
at.
Mm-mm.
You could jump on a couch.
I'm
You
good.
can?
I can jump on a couch in my own living room
No,
if
on
I'd like.
Oprah Winfrey show, like
Tom
about
Tom
Cruise?
Like
Cruise.
Tom
Oh,
Cruise
yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you good there? You good there, love?
Yeah, I'm just repositioning things here
I
now
think
that
he
I
was talking to
moved
me.
it.
Well, it
Oh,
was a little bit of everybody, but then she caught my attention and she's like,
Anyway, Troy, let me just say something really quick, okay? I hope you know how lucky you are that you have her, and she is beautiful.
I know her eyes look well,
Okay.
except when it freezes and she gets her crazy eyes.
We're not talking about just her eyes. I'm just saying.
Oh,
You
I
just
know.
remember how lucky you are.
I do.
yeah, you too, Adam.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Right. She better be
I
taking
know how
care of
lucky
you.
I am.
I mean, no, Adam, you're the most lucky right now because Mish makes like the bomb ass food. Okay.
She does make
Yeah.
I'm
killer
pretty
food.
fucking jealous every day she sends me food, and I'm really sad.
I know.
I just made
I want
carnitas.
this for
I forgot to send you a picture.
Yeah.
I know she always shows me the pictures. Right.
Well, I
So
figure if I show you pictures, then you'll come see us sooner.
March it is. We gotta figure out that
Still
date.
waiting on dates.
Yeah, we're trying to finagle what it's gonna be with the kids.
Yeah. He's
So-
got to work
I
cold
did,
facts
okay,
too.
that was a off the. I just sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. That's how we usually do that.
I know.
Squirrel.
So I think one
Right.
of the misconceptions too is everyone who believes, and this is towards like the investigators, everyone who believes in aliens and UFOs is like living in their mom's basement.
And they're cray cray.
And they're crazy as shit.
With their
And
aluminum foil hats.
I guess that's a personal
Did-
opinion. I don't think we're crazy. I think we're pretty normal, but I don't envision what I see here with us as being like the typical what people think.
I
Like
feel
you
like
said,
we're just more open minded to things.
Right.
Like we're not just closed minded to, well, I can't see it or I can't touch it or I can't feel it, so it's not real.
right.
But a lot of those people who are like that believe in God.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
So it's hard to, I mean, because I get it too.
And that's what I don't understand. It's like, how can you believe in God? You can't believe, like, somebody that you believe a book that's written, but you don't know these people. You don't know anything. Like, you didn't meet them. You don't have like physical proof of there's not a physical picture of this person that you could say, oh, this is God right here. Like that wasn't around then.
This is God
But
and
you
me
can't
hanging
believe
out.
that there could be spirits. Like, am I a full-on believer? I'm not a full-on believer of like spirits. Like, I have been skeptical. Have I heard stuff where I'm like, oh, that's cool? Like, I'm not 100%. I like to go and investigate, and there's cool things that I've seen happen. But I mean, I have not had a full on experience on things. His friend Jeff is like, Amber, you're just different. Like, you can hear things, you can see things. And I believe that. Like, I tell him all the time, Troy, I hear things. Like, I hear things. So maybe I have a different ability. And that's why I just am like, okay, there's a ghost. Like, it's different than what like some people will think. I mean, some people are like, I'm going to antagonize. I'm going to be like, fuck you, come get me, demon. And I am just like, I just feel like it's an everyday person.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what you believe in. But yeah, these people that believe in the God, the Bible, and all these other things, but you can't believe that once you die, that your spirit could be stuck here or could be here still. People don't believe in mediums, and I believe more in like a potential of a medium. I would love to experience a medium just so that I have that experience because I want it done to me for me to be 100% believer is the way that I feel.
Right. I hear
Absolutely.
that.
And we can dive into that since we're kind of going on that spiritual side with ghosts. Misconceptions. What do you think people see us as ghost hunters?
I think it depends on if they're a skeptic or not.
Right.
If they don't believe in spirits and ghosts and whatever it is that we're talking about, they're looking at us like we're retarded. Like, I'm sorry, politically correct. I'm sorry. Like, we're special
Crazy.
and crazy.
Cray,
Yeah.
cray.
But
I think people think of us as more demonic. We're the devil worshippers.
But the
Yes.
thing is it's not, what we do is not all, I mean, it can go down that way if you allow it to or if you choose to.
See, because that's
Right.
what I was going to say is that people would think that we're devil worshippers or, demonologists or something like that.
But
Right.
in order, yeah.
What's the difference between a medium talking to a spirit and us? Just because they can hear it in their head and feel it in their body and we use an equipment.
Well, I don't think there's a difference. It's just one person knows that they have these abilities and they use it, I think, to what am I
Help
searching
loved
for?
ones.
No, it's not that. Like they're using it to bring people to them so they can use their ability for that reason. Like
Right.
I think Adam has some kind of thing because he hears things, he can feel things, like, and it's crazy because like I will just look at him and be like, what are you talking about? But he literally will feel it in his bones, whatever it is he's talking about. And I'm just like, I don't know. But then there's sometimes when I will feel something, but he will also feel it. So I think every person has a different energy that they can hear or not hear
absolutely.
certain things or feel things.
Right. Adam, can you feel this? Do you
Little-
know
little
where,
lower.
do you know where I'm
Little
touching?
lower. Little lower.
Down in your plums. But Michelle, wasn't it with you when we were up in Cripple Creek?
At the
Wasn't
museum.
it you at the museum that you felt them touch your calf?
The back of my leg.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was standing right there and I didn't feel anything.
Yes.
Oh, that wasn't Victor.
Oh, Victor.
Yeah, that was
Victor,
yeah, it
yeah.
was
At the
yeah, at the
museum, yeah.
museum. Yeah. That scared the crap out of me.
Right.
Like I've never
And they mentioned something about a child up there. So
no,
that
Yeah.
I've never
we was like,
experienced anything like that. So that was my one thing where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah, but wasn't that up in like the military room or
it was
where
across.
was
Yes,
that?
it was
was
in the
the
military.
office.
No, it was across from
the military.
Oh,
Because the
yes,
military
it was the
room
office.
is where
It was
something
under
was
the bench.
behind me, and the little the meter was behind me, and Troy kept talking about it touching my butt because I was Asian.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Because that's
right.
what Troy does. And it kept going off.
Yeah.
That was in that room. The room across from there though is where something touched the back of my calf when I was standing in front of a bench. There was a bench right there.
Yeah, there's a bench
Correct.
you could sit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like a bedroom. It was like some room, like a room.
I thought it was like an office or something like that. I don't remember. I just
been a
remember when
minute.
you walked in, there was a bench and there was like this gate.
To
It was a
block you
wall.
from
You
going
couldn't
in
go
there.
So you can go past
Yeah.
it. And there was like a TV.
Yeah.
There wasn't a bed or anything. That's why I don't think it was a
I think it was an
bedroom.
I
office.
can't remember. Maybe
Yeah,
it was an office.
Yeah. Oh, that was.
See.
But I was
That
right
gives
there
me-
with Lakeland and
That
all
gives
that.
me the
and
goosebumps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the good memories.
Yes. Those are the ones that just,
They stay with you.
how do I not believe in a spirit when that's happened to me? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
It's not going to happen every time. It may never
No.
happen to someone the whole time they're trying to investigate, but once it happens, it's kind of like,
Right. Exactly.
there's nothing to tell me not to believe.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and like I like Adam, I can hear things. I tell Troy all the time, like I hear things all the time. And Troy, when we went and did the downtown Littleton with Tracy, and we had B and all that with us, it was kind of crazy, and we had the spirit box going, and I was like, "Hey, you were like, did there say something?" I said, "Yeah, it said this." And you were like, "No." And you and Landon, everyone's like, "I think it said this, it said this." And we listened back and it said exactly what I
Right.
said,
Right.
like, and now I can't remember the context at this point, but it was just like
It was more clear to
clear.
you.
It was so clear as day to me. And I was just like, okay, there was so much commotion. People were talking. B was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like talking to people there
Oh,
too.
she's so
I
cute.
mean, I feel like B sees people all the time. Like she wakes up talking and then like gets scared or she'll just randomly talk. It's just, I feel like people have at different moments different abilities to be able to feel it. And a medium has an ability to feel it and hear it and get intuitive to it at all times. Just because we can't feel that at all times within us and we use tools to see it doesn't make us devil worshippers.
Right.
It doesn't mean we can't help somebody else out and figure out what they need and why they're here. It could totally help somebody out at one point.
100%. 100%. Because I don't get all those. I every once in a while I'll get feelings or I'll feel the cold air and stuff like that. But I don't think I hear things like, you guys
Yeah.
may and stuff like that. I don't get that. So the equipment helps me.
Yeah, we've talked
Right.
about that before about
Yeah.
how, I feel stuff and sense stuff, but you just, it's
I
all
don't.
equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean,
And
I'll
so,
feel cold breezes every now and then,
yeah,
but
I'll get those.
I always second guess myself. I'm always like, what
Right.
did I? And then I always have to ask Adam, and he's
You're like,
always,
did I
he's
fart and walk
already,
through
no,
it?
he's already looking at me like, did she feel that too? Because his senses are so much more heightened to those specific things like
Yeah.
spirits and stuff like that.
So
It's
he's our
crazy.
he's our devil worshipper.
I
Black
realized
magic.
last night.
Black magic.
It's all voodoo.
You
Oh.
do. No, I do the voodoo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
the pin cushions and all that. I realized
guess.
last night, like, I really want to do an investigation here, and not have the kids here one night just to do it. Because I realized, I mean, he blames me last night. He's like, I'm I didn't sleep last night because you got up. I mean, I hear the fan in that, and I feel like I was. It happens almost every night, maybe every couple nights, where I hear something, and I feel like I hear somebody laughing or a kid crying or Blakeland crying or water running. Last night I heard water running and I was like, is that noise? Is that water running? Okay. But I couldn't understand because the fan was going, but then the fan was so loud to me that it got louder when I tried to concentrate on the noise that I have to get out of bed and go stand in the hallway to really like ground myself and understand where I'm at and what's going on. And then I don't hear anything and I can go back to bed. I realized when we were in Arizona, I had no problem falling asleep. Not one. That is the first time since we lived in this house that I have not had an issue falling asleep.
See, but this is where we can go off on a whole different thing because, like Adam and I have discussed, that we won't do investigations in our home.
Yeah.
Because to us, it's inviting
Right.
because, you're trying to figure it out. But to you, maybe that's not how you look at it. And that's another thing where, like, yeah, we do
That's
this
when I would
podcast and
sage afterwards.
well, and that's the thing is anytime we have issues where we feel like, oh my gosh, like there's something going on, there's not a discussion of we're going to talk about it. And like, first of all, we'll take our conversation outside and talk about it. Like, we don't want to do it inside.
Right.
And it's always, okay, well, this is what happened. Tomorrow we're going to smudge the house. But we won't, like, that's just us though. Like, we won't do investigations in our
Not at the
home.
house.
But that's again where, we're talking about difference between, how people think and whatever. Maybe that's something that you guys would do. I'm not against it.
I don't know. We've
but
never
we're
done it.
but
So.
we're against it in our own home. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said,
Right.
even when we talk about things, we usually talk about them outside.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where we've walked all the way down to the landing, or like the pool, just
So
to
how do you
sit.
feel about talking all about this in your home doing the podcast?
Well, we're just talking about it though. We're not talking about specific things that
There's
happened
in there,
inside
yeah.
the
Happening
house.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes
All
I worry because you bring all this stuff in, Troy. Like you bring in all these pictures and
Oh,
all that.
it's my fault.
Hell
Let's look
yeah.
at all
always
the
your
stuff
fault.
Look
in
at that
there.
guy.
You all
Look
the
at that
podcast
guy.
room.
The Ouija board
Hey, that's family.
runner, that's from me, from
Yeah,
us.
see?
And then the little wooden guy, that's from us.
Yep.
Wherever
So it's
he
not
went.
everything.
Yep.
No, I can see there.
Oh, I
He's
know.
like, it's right there.
Oh, actually, I haven't put it back up.
No,
We took
took
him
it down for the
down.
zip tie.
Yeah. There was a few things we took down because we didn't want them
We
thinking
didn't
like
think
a
that.
hanging guy. Like,
Oh, this yeah.
right. So
That's
Probably
pretty
not.
smart.
yeah, they
Funny
would have
yet
been
more
like devil
counterintuitive.
worshippers.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Awkward.
I think that's a good way because one of the, a lot of people are always like asking me about that. Like, do you guys investigate your own home and this and that? And I'm always pretty honest about like, I wouldn't want a bunch of ghosts in my house. That's not what I would want. Like, that just wouldn't be comfortable. I love doing the ghost hunts and I love
Right.
finding it, but I don't want that shit in my house. So that's one of the things people ask me. They're like,
But
"Oh,
now the question is like, what if they're already there?
as long
Right.
I think
as
that's where
I don't,
I think
yeah,
that's where Amber is. Like,
But
if
if
they're
I don't
already
know it-
there, right? But the thing is she's more sensitive than you are,
Right.
so she knows it and you don't, and it's affecting her, and it's not affecting you. Although
Right.
her waking up in the middle of the night is affecting you, but you know what I'm saying.
Thank you.
No, I'm not taking your side by any means.
No,
That's not
I'm
what
gonna
I was
take it.
doing.
That's how I took it.
I'm
All right,
always
we're
on Amber's
ending this
side.
podcast.
And we're done.
And
Troy's
we're
on a
done
high, so we
with
gotta
the
stop.
win.
Mic drop.
Whatever. No, but I'm
Well,
just saying, like,
yeah.
it's affecting her and her ability to sleep. And like she said, she went to Arizona. She didn't have a hard time sleeping. So I get where she would want to, but at the same time, like, do you really want to? Or
I
should
guess,
you just
for me, it would be trusting Amber's feelings. If she feels like it's something that's already been there, it's already established, it's trying
I don't
to
know
reach
if I
out.
really want to do. I just want to know if there's some. Am I going crazy? Because I don't even know. I've never.
You're such a dick.
I don't never saged. I don't know how to do that shit. Like I
Just
don't know.
light that bitch on fire, let it smoke, and walk around your house.
Yeah, we got the sage from
Make
Alexis, so we can always do it.
Well, I think, Adam, how many times have you saged our house since we moved here?
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is we just,
Yeah.
it's just sage and then see if it helps at all.
And it is a difference on everyone. So like Tracy, who always has something in her house, she loves it. She films it, and it's just kind of fun for her. So, everyone's a little
Ghost
different
and
on that.
dogs.
Yeah, but I think
Rescue dogs.
I think there's been
Right.
one time where Adam and I have used equipment in our home, but it was just by the front door in the apartment in Denver,
Okay.
Yeah.
because Adam had such a strong feeling that he had to know. And my dad's ashes were sitting on the shelf by the front door.
That's right.
And he was
I
telling
remember
me, he's like, I have a very strong feeling, that your dad is here, he's present, whatever. And I was like it gave me the chills.
Oh,
And of course,
I'm getting the chills now.
and of course, I get emotional because that's my dad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I would love for him to be there. And see, I got they're so bad.
Yeah.
See,
me
was
too.
it here
Ooh!
or Denver where I had the feeling I was like,
It was here. But wait, before we get
Go
on to
ahead.
that one, in Denver, yeah. So he's like, okay, we should never do this, but it's a good feeling. So let's just see. And what meter did we use? It's a little, I always forget the name.
Millimeter?
The one that does the energy.
EMF?
Oh,
Yeah.
EMF.
Is
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took it to the front door, and sure as shit, every time I moved it towards where my dad was, it was way off the charts. But when I moved it just a little bit the other way, it would just stop. And like, to me, that was amazing. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like I knew we weren't going to stay there, you know, like I knew that wasn't our forever home.
Right.
So it wasn't like, I don't know. And like I said, I think maybe it was okay because it was not a unwelcome feeling that he had. It was a, what do you call it, babe? When the spirit is welcome, like you feel
Comforting.
he feels differently towards different things, but this one was like a safe feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it was okay to do it. But yeah, and even when we moved here, so when we first moved in, I had my dad's ashes up in the closet because I didn't know where to put him yet. And we'd only been here for how long? Like maybe a month.
Yeah, not very long.
And then Adam is just sitting there and he's like, your dad's telling me that he needs to see something. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, seriously. And it was like out of nowhere. He's like, your dad he's upset. He can't see the boys. And I was like, what are you talking about? So here's the story. Because my dad's ashes, because my dad's ashes were by the front door when we lived in Denver.
Mhm.
Every day, Owen and I, and even Landon, when Landon was with us, when we left, we would say goodbye to Grandpa. So when we moved here, I hadn't put him anywhere yet because I didn't know where to put him. And my kids had started school. So my kids, they had left. And then Adam is like, your dad's upset. He's like, is there something you guys used to do all the time? And I was like, oh my God. That's what it was. My dad couldn't see them leaving and no one was talking to him.
Right.
So I put him out in the living room so he could see the boys leave for school and stuff.
Yeah.
We've been fine. Like,
Yeah, and I had no clue, but I had this overwhelming like something's not right. Somebody's not saying hi or
and that's what it was
what's
because we
up, or
always said something to him when we were leaving.
See, and I didn't know that. That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. So now he
So-
sits in the living room up on a shelf to where he can see the living room and all the way down the hall to the door.
Well, hey, you didn't leave Dad in Denver. He's on the beach now, okay?
That's true.
Right.
You know,
He's in the warmth.
he's got the
Yeah.
salt life now.
Right.
He's just out fishing our
Salt.
ponds every day. That's what
Yeah.
he's doing.
You
Catching
better give him a
gators.
salt life sticker.
Ah, yes.
Damn
Put
right.
it right on the back of his urn. Just,
Right.
Salt life.
here you go, Dad. Salt life. He would love that. He would love
Ah.
that. Anyway, sorry, we went off again.
No,
No,
no.
That's what we
totally part
do.
of it though. But yeah,
That is
like
part of it.
that's totally awesome. I mean, that I have not had that many goosebumps in forever.
Yes.
Right.
It's
No, I think
crazy,
that-
but it's nice. It's nice too. Like sometimes I feel bad that, Adam can feel and whatever. But at the same time, it's like I don't have those. So I'm glad that he does and he shares them with me.
Right. Yeah.
You have your
that-
own little
and-
personal medium and
And it kind of
Right.
sucks because it's all the time. It's like I'll be at work trying to do something, and then I'm like,
Yeah, your work. I can't wait to go.
Yeah.
what the fuck?
do they talk to you at work?
No,
Nothing.
I've seen shadows and I felt presence, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm excited to come out and do that.
So,
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
We'll be bringing out the equipment.
Stoked.
I know
So
everybody
stoked.
talks about the main building, but I think that other one that's across the street,
The theater.
yeah, the theater,
Okay, yeah, that looked cool. That looks like such a cool building.
yeah.
That'd be good.
I'm down for whatever, as long as I can hold Amber's hand.
Oh my gosh.
I
Twinsies.
miss my friend.
I know. We'll be there.
So far.
Troy, you can stay home. I just miss Amber.
I don't think Adam's gonna agree to that.
No,
Yeah, thank you. We'll hold hands.
Oh, we
How
already
about
have
that?
pictures of you guys
just
holding
like
hands.
we did.
This is true. That
Right.
popped up not too long ago on Facebook.
Fort DeSoto.
Right.
Yes. Good times. Good
No, I
times.
think I think that story though gives kind of an idea though of what like who we are outside of the ghost hunts and stuff like that. Because I mean, people always ask me, and even like in law enforcement, people would always ask me about it, and they'd be like, this shit's not real. But then they always wanted to see the evidence. They always want to talk about it. What'd you get at your ghost hunt? well, if you don't fucking believe, fool, then why you care?
Yeah.
And they,
And
you
Right.
know,
they always got that one story too. They're like, you know what? This one time I
right.
was at my house or my grandparents' house, or they always
Yeah,
have something.
something, but they're like, but I don't really believe, it's like it has that stereotypical, like nobody wants to believe it. It's like listening to the fucking Hanson brothers, man, or something like that. Everyone listened and liked it, but
Bop,
nobody would admit it.
bop,
Right
bop,
now,
bop.
nobody's gonna admit it. So,
I
and
can't
that's
believe
kind
you said that. I literally had that playing in my ear on hold to a hospital the other day. And I
See?
hadn't
Oh,
heard
that's
that song in
hilarious.
forever.
and you loved it.
Oh my
So
God. No, it just wouldn't leave
no,
my head the rest of the day.
but
It
it's stuff
was
like that.
dumb.
Like you love it, but you're not going to admit it, and that's how I think a lot of people are. They're like, dude, like deep down, they're like ghosts. I think they're real, and it'd be cool to see one, but they're not going to tell people that because it sounds
Yeah.
kooky.
Right.
I don't know. Do you guys think that believers and skeptics, like, do you believe that, not to say that we can't get along, but do you think that there's a lot of butting heads when it comes to talking about that stuff? Or do you think it's just, I mean,
I think it depends
See,
on the skeptic.
yeah, I get
well,
it
that's
at
true
work
too.
because
I
my
know
boss
you
found
do.
out that,
Well, the doctor
we're,
that I work for, she thinks I'm crazy.
yeah,
Right?
my
And
boss
Adam,
found
your
out
boss,
that we're paranormal investigators and he thinks it's just a joke. He's like, yeah, that's so dumb. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like,
right?
But that's
you
the
guys are
thing though,
stupid. And
is
I'm like, whatever.
Like,
I'm like, it's
fine,
your belief.
boss.
I don't
Right,
care.
right. And that's it. Like, but then you have the ones that are open to it, like who want to come on investigations. They're open to the fact. They're like, they don't really believe it. They're, kind of like Amber said earlier, until I experience it, it's possible, but do I really believe it? Probably not.
well,
But
it's like Shane on BuzzFeed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He doesn't believe, but he goes because I think he wants to.
he
Deep down, he
wants to.
wants to. Like he
Or
wants.
he wants to debunk it,
Right.
Well, that too,
Which
but
we do too.
Yeah.
And I think
I would
that's a
love to debunk people.
yeah, I think that's a misconception too, is that we believe everything we see.
Mhm.
If
we don't.
no, God, no. I
Well, and
wish.
I think that's where I get angry too, is that sometimes you watch like these shows like Ghost Adventures and all that, and they're like, holy shit, they went and got all this evidence in like 20 minutes. Like that shit takes days and
Yeah.
days and days. You could go and get nothing. You can get one little blip in an hour. You ain't gonna get everything in one fucking night. Like,
Or
Yeah.
yeah, we've
or
gone
you might
and
get a lot, but half the shit they do, you could look at it and be like, okay, this is how that happened. Like we sit and discuss it all the time when we watch all these ghost shows
right.
of, okay, like that's TV moment, and we can talk about that.
Your eyeballs all
The
crazy.
stupid.
There you go. All
Mine.
right. It was. It
Sorry, you
caught-
got you got stuck, and it was funny. I'm sorry. I
Great.
wasn't laughing at you, but I was.
with you.
Yeah.
Just laughing with you.
Yeah. We can talk about TV shows.
Mhm.
People have a misconception with them. Look at the TV shows that I was on. You watch my episode, and I'm like, that's not how I said the story, but okay.
That's
Not
how
all
they
of
pieced
that
it together.
Mhm.
That didn't all happen in one night. That happened over several years of me working there, and they put it in different orders.
Right.
But that's what makes good TV for people.
That's what sold them.
Totally.
Mhm.
Totally. And we've debunked some of our own evidence. I don't know if you guys remember the flag one we had to take down. I don't know if you guys were with the team at the time when we took the video, but at the firefighter museum, I had a static camera up top and I wasn't in the room and it looked like a shadow came across. And I thought it was such great evidence. I was like, this is awesome, freaking sweet, man. And I posted it and everyone loved it. And then we went back and we did an investigation and it was the fucking flag out front. If it's windy enough, the flag is not outside the window, but it's to the side. But if it is windy enough and it kicks it enough to the side across. So the second investigation caught it and I took it down. I was like, I'm not gonna leave it up.
That's what makes you different than some investigators, though, is some would just leave it
Because everyone thought it was the coolest evidence.
and they would take it, as a win, but
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
you don't necessarily want that all the time. Like you do
No.
want to be like, oh, we thought this is what it was, but we debunked it. So, you know, it
Yeah.
was cool, but not cool enough. It wasn't real.
Right.
No.
And which goes into, I think that's a great thing to be able to do multiple investigations at one spot to
Yeah.
catch stuff like that or to catch new things. But I mean, I would have never known if I had not gone back that flag, because it was just a super windy day the second time. So,
Yeah.
And I mean, we're pretty much like, we're not going to bullshit you. If we catch stuff, great. If we don't, we don't. But then, I mean, we've done investigations and with collaboration of other people, and they are over the top, and it's not genuine, and it's just weird, and they just don't make it fun. And then you have some people that are more demonic about it and kind of just turn it into a dark scenario. And that's not also like, that's not who we are. And some people are like that. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But that makes us also look bad into turning into that stereotype that, you know, these people that talk to ghosts are ghost hunters, use the Ouija board and summon
And they all lie,
demons.
is what they're thinking.
right.
They're
Yeah.
liars.
Exactly.
Right.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
believe like the Ouija board stuff and all that, honestly.
Well, people
I just think
are
it's cool when we get evidence and we can
Totally.
share it. And then, you know, when people do say, oh, well, are you sure it's not this? That gives us a chance to be like, you know what? Let's look at it again.
totally,
You know?
totally.
Or
Yeah.
like when we do investigations, we're all usually getting our own separate stuff, and then we come together like, hey, look at this. Did you see what I see? You know, did you hear what I like when we did the Phoenix Mine? That was amazing. You
Yeah.
know, everyone recorded their own different part of where they were. You know, like I used a cell phone, you used an actual camera, Adam had, you know, the thermal. I mean, it's just everyone was using something different,
hmm
you know, and you just, that's all
Yeah.
you can do is get what you can get and then decide if it's, you know, real or not. And,
Right.
you know, just don't falsify what you did find, because if it's not real, you know, don't
Yeah.
share it. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, in your case, you shared it because you thought for sure, which is understandable, but
Right.
we're not the liars. We're not
Yeah.
the type that.
Yeah. As soon as I figured it out,
And
I
we
was
all
like,
know
shit.
to
I
it.
was like, man. And
Well, I mean,
I
Troy's a liar, but
right.
that's
Just
a
not
different
about that.
story.
Just not about that.
Just not about ghost hunts. Okay.
Right. But I mean, I think that's a huge one, that one those TV shows show like in that hour. I mean, people don't realize we comb through tons of evidence. I watch videos like 2-3 times each.
You're
And
probably still watching videos
I
that you've
am.
done like 5-6
I
years
am.
ago.
We still go back through. And I mean, wasn't it not too long ago that you went back through old evidence from a long time ago and we found something?
Yes.
Even
Yes.
Tracy years and
did.
years ago.
Tracy does it all
like,
the
found
time.
something.
She
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to like once a week go through a little bit of video. They're all saved on a hard drive, so I just pop in and go through it. And you know, sometimes I get stuff. I mean, rarely I get stuff. It's very far, you know, in between, but it's very boring, and people don't realize that. It's listening to EVPs on your headphones and just listening to people talk for hours and hoping you catch something. It's a boring gig. So, and I think, you know, obviously a TV show makes it like look so cool. It's super scary. No, like 99% of it's boring. You get that
The static box
occasional,
is the worst.
yeah,
The spirit box.
spirit
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I
that
like that. Right.
Okay.
24/7 makes it really, really hard. Like
Yeah.
you can only go for a few minutes of that before you feel like you're starting to go crazy.
Right.
fall
Yeah.
asleep. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Any other misconceptions you guys think of? I mean, it's kind of all falls into the same realm. You know, when I go hiking, I look for Bigfoot. I think it would be super cool to catch that guy. Is he real? I don't really fully believe so.
Mhm.
I
But
believe
it's
it's
possible.
possible. I believe it's possible because science has proven some things that give it some, you know, consideration. Like where back in the day there was small tribes where the people were like 7 feet tall. Science has proven that. They have found the bones. Now, did one of them survive? But is it possible? Yeah.
Well,
maybe
didn't they say that we came from apes?
well, that's starting to change too. But yes, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's one
depending.
But
theory.
that's where I don't understand. If God is real, didn't we come from Adam and Eve? How did we come from apes and Adam and Eve?
Adam, bro.
Creator,
Thanks, homie.
right here.
Thanks.
I got you.
Sorry, Michelle. He was a busy man before he created a world.
Well, he was definitely a busy man before meeting me, so it's whatever.
It is what it is, you know.
I accept it.
Right.
Dang.
I accept
Right.
it
Right.
because he's stuck. So
I know.
He's a
Whatever.
one-woman man now. Okay.
That's right. America. Yeah. So, I mean, it's all those different perceptions. I'm just open minded to it. So, yeah, keep my eye out. I think it'd be super cool because all the videos you see of like Sasquatch are all shit. And I would love to be the one who catches one and is like, fuck, because
you have
if
like the real evidence.
right, because I make a lot of videos on Facebook and stuff. And if I put a blurry piece of shit video on there of Sasquatch, nobody's going to believe it because they're going to be like, that's not what you always post. I know what camera you're using.
Just make sure next time you go hiking to bring some beef jerky, and it has to be Jack Links, okay?
Jack Links.
Right?
You got to
Just
share
make
it.
sure,
I am. Don't you
because
worry.
he might smell it, and then he'll just come right to you.
Yes.
You can just snap a photo, do some selfies, like.
Hey, we were talking about a trip. Was it Oregon with the Airbnb, the Sasquatch one? I think it's Oregon or Washington. There is an Airbnb where they've had thousands of sightings, and so they end up building this fucking Airbnb there, and it's super nice, super big.
Isn't that with that like thing you guys watch with the kids?
Yeah, so it's like
I don't.
It's a show on all the
one.
Airbnbs around the U.S., like unique ones, cool places. So this one, what's cool about it though is you can hire part of the package. You can spend a little extra money, and a guy will come deliver you a bottle of champagne and like a full Sasquatch outfit, and it'll show up to the windows and shit. It's super cool, but the area is well known for tons of Bigfoot sightings, and so that's why they built it there, and they made the experience like that. Be a cool trip, but open-minded to it. I don't know if they're real, and again, I think that misconception, we believe in everything, it's not the case. Do I want to see everything? Hell yeah.
Right. Well, I think a big misconception is that spirits or ghosts only come out at night.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that's my opinion, but I'm just saying, like,
no, that's very true.
It's one of those
we
things
talked about that in Arizona.
I think it's one of those things where we're taught as, you're younger, or like in movies, it only happens when you're laying in bed and it's dark, or when, like, yes, there's a witching hour, which is fine, but it can happen in broad daylight.
Absolutely. And we like she said, in Arizona, one of our friends asked us that, hey, why do ghosts only come out during the night when we were at Vulture City, which is well known for hauntings? And we were like, no, that's not the case. The biggest reason behind that is our camera equipment. That's where this comes into it. One is spook factor. Anytime you're hunting ghosts, obviously you want to feel in the moment. So you want it to be creepy. You want it to be scary. So
how weird would we look walking around in the middle of the
daytime?
Day?
Yeah. So of course you're going to do it at night. And then the biggest one though is the camera equipment. The night vision camera equipment that is able to see things that our eyes can't see gets blown out in the daylight. So that's the biggest thing.
And there's more people up and moving. There's more sound.
Exactly.
There's more stuff that's going to disrupt.
Right.
But if you think about it, because of all the people that are up and around and moving, that's more energy that they can feed off of. So why wouldn't they be out?
They are out, but we're not going to know.
They are out.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying is they've got to be out because there's so much energy walking around throughout the day, and at night, yes, it is that spooky factor, but we have to give it energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas opposed to during the day, I'm sure you're just walking right next to you, holding your hand, patting your butt, whatever.
You got no idea. And I just think it's Amber.
No, that's Adam. That's Adam when he follows me around the house. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like you said, the witching hour. So of course everyone wants to investigate during the witching hours, and 3 a.m. So of course you're going to start your investigation later in the evening. You're not going to start at noon and be there for fucking 18 hours unless you're filming for Travel Channel, you know. So you're going to start later at night and you're going to get into that witching hour, which you want, which, you know, is believed to be the portal that opens and all the spirits get more energy and more come to light, you know, whether
Well, it's actually believed that the what is it like the cloak between the spirit
yes,
realm and the human realm is thinner at that time, which
yeah,
allows movement back and forth.
right.
Right.
So I don't know the history on that, where that came from, but that's always been the belief. And I mean, a lot of stuff tends to happen that way. A lot more energy, a lot more action is found during those times. So there's maybe some credence to it. Again, that could be a misconception. We could be wrong about that. That's our, belief is that witching hour, we get more shit. We could be totally wrong.
Yep.
We've
Well,
got
I
our
think-
own.
Well, and I think also with the whole everyone thinks, it's just at night. It's kind of like everyone thinks that it's just old, creepy. It's been a building that's been built forever ago. It doesn't have to be old.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It can happen to a brand new building that just got built. I think there was a hotel that we stayed at in Denver, and the lady that was working the front desk was telling us that she thinks that the place was haunted because what was it? Some guy fell off a rafter or something when they were building it. But the hotel was only
Was
like
that
2
the one
years
that was
old.
over by the shooting range?
Yes.
Over by the Centennial Gun Club?
Yes. So she said,
I remember that.
I mean, but it was a brand new building.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she said she thinks someone passed building it, but who knows what ground you're building
Right.
something on. Once you
Yeah.
tear
Well,
something down and
especially
build,
here, you don't know what you're building, what lived here, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I guarantee there's bodies all over the place.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
And I had Tracy and I had an investigation back in the day, and the evidence is on Facebook where I asked someone to turn on or off the light. And as I ask it to do that, I ask it to dim the light, and it did actually dim the light on command. And I hadn't done that for the 15 minutes I'm sitting there in this room talking to myself. Again, boring job. But as soon as I said, "Hey, can you dim that light? Show me you're here," they dimmed the light, and we had caught that evidence. Well, it's not an old house. It wasn't somebody who was dead hundreds of years ago. It was her husband who passed away like 6 months prior, and she was like, "Yo, I feel like he's here. Can you guys come in and give some sort of evidence that he is?" And we were able to provide some, but it wasn't old. It was brand new,
Right.
So he was just kicking
Yeah.
around in the house.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
just
I'm
think
gonna
that's
fuck
one
with
of
you.
I think that's just one of the misconceptions that everyone's like, oh, that building's not old. Why would we investigate it?
Right.
Because it can happen anywhere.
I think again just falls into that spooky factor. We like old,
Oh,
dark.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I know when Adam and I are exploring and we're, checking out places, we'll pass buildings and I'm like, ooh, that one's got a story to tell,
Yeah.
because
Right.
it
History.
looks old and it has, it
And it probably does
has
have more
seen a lot
history,
of
yeah.
exactly. But
I agree with you. It doesn't always have to be old.
yeah.
All right, there we go. So anything else you guys want to add to this? I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any other misconceptions people have.
I'm sure there's lots of misconceptions. Those
Yeah.
are just
The ones that
I think those are just the main ones.
The main
Right.
one.
right. We can talk about equipment.
Mhm.
Obviously you have the naysayers of equipment and people who are just like, oh, it's just you're able to manipulate it and
Yeah.
whatnot like that, which is completely false. We were unable to like manipulate most of it. Now, can we set off some sensors? Yeah, some of them we
Yeah.
can't though. The REM pod to activate the red has to be touched. And my cell phone won't set it off. Now, will my cell phone set other things off? Yes. And we know that, and we'll usually tell people who are with us, whatever, keep distance or whatever from the equipment so it works properly. So yeah, I'm sure there's teams out there that manipulate it to get the
I'm
stuff they
sure.
want.
Yeah.
We don't. Again, I want to find real shit. That's why I do it. It's not for the public. I like posting it for people to see the evidence, but I do it to find it for myself. So I want it real.
Right.
know. So I think that's a big thing is like the REM pod was a big one. We had the investigation in Georgetown and it did the whole little knock thing. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear that? No. So
Uh,
you do the knock and we asked it to do it as well. And it repeated it on the REM pod, which has never happened ever. And everyone freaked out in the room. There was like 10 of us, which was cool for everyone to see it actually happen and not a video I post later. So the girl who stayed in the room like freaks out and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe it did that. So the rest of the night, they literally were asking us, can I see that? Can I see that REM pod? Like, how are you able to like plug it into your computer and make it, do whatever you want? And I'm like, no, play with it for the next hour. I don't care. And so, at the end, they're like, holy hell, like you can't. I'm like, no, I'm not that fucking smart to be able to manipulate anything like that by any means. And so they were blown away by that. So it was cool to be able to show like I can't do anything to this machine and you saw what it produced and it freaked him out. Like and that girl I know she didn't sleep in that room, I was told.
Right.
Yeah, it was her family was over and stuff and that was hers and she's like, "No, I didn't sleep in there." So,
yeah.
That makes sense.
That's how we got the clip of the screaming of, get me out of here.
yeah. Yeah, she was pretty freaked after that. That was a good one just because we had so many witnesses. So, and especially considering like we get there and we didn't know it was a party. We thought we were just checking out this house and we get there and it's a Halloween party. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
God. We're
Yeah.
like, this is going to suck, but whatever. You know what? We'll just go in and we get our name out and we'll let them play with the equipment. And, we didn't expect to get shit. We got a lot in that house and they were a very friendly. And again, this goes into the energy of like in the daytime, maybe they're getting more energy because you're up and moving. This was a very popping family. They loud music and always dancing and all this stuff, and that's how they were that night. And we got tons of shit. And so,
You're
I mean,
feeding off all that energy.
right, 100%. But we can't finagle the equipment like that. Some of the like EMF detectors, we can if it's like right on your phone, you can set those things off. But again,
Or
it only sets
electricity, right?
certain things. So like Wi-Fi can set off some of your things. So we usually try to do that baseline. We'll walk around and see. We'll ask people to cut the Wi-Fi if we can, but as long as you know where it's at and you keep it away from it, it's not going to set it off. Like your phone will set some off, but you'll also know the limits. If you bring it next to your phone, it'll only take it to a certain degree. So if you're filming and you're like right on it with your phone, then of course it's going to set it off.
Yeah.
And again, that's only certain items. Some of the millimeters like Tracy has and one of mine won't go because of a phone or Wi-Fi. So those are just a little more accurate on that. But the other ones are a little more sensitive so you can pick up more stuff. If a spirit or whatever doesn't have as much energy, it's going to pick it up where the other one needs a lot more energy. So it's good to have both, but you just got to be aware of what their limits are. And people think, oh, they're setting it up to do it. It's not the case.
No.
There's no fun in that.
No, God no.
There's no fun in that.
that would get old and that would just, I don't know. It's kind of like, to me, like I explain to people, I'm like, it's like fishing for me. Like you get nothing and then you catch a fish and it's fucking like the greatest high. That's how ghost hunting is. You get nothing and you get something and then you're like ecstatic for the night and you're like hairs on your arms are raised and that's how it is. So you would ruin that in a heartbeat if you're setting it up and faking this shit. So at least for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about Amber.
I agree.
Yeah, I heard she's pretty good at faking it.
Oh, that was a good one. That was her face.
Dang.
Amber, are you telling Adam all your secrets or what?
I
Not very
think
nice.
I think that was the best burn on this podcast. Like the
Dang.
timing
far?
and how it just came out was.
Her face was awesome.
I was not expecting that. That
I
got
wasn't
me
either.
off guard.
I wasn't either. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
Right. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's
anything
due
else
for me to
before we
go.
before we let Adam go sleep and let Michelle, answer to his ringing of the bells to get food and whatnot.
Yeah. Nope.
No soup for you.
No soup for you.
Is that how I talk?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Like when you're angry.
That's from Seinfeld.
Okay.
That
I was like,
guy.
wait a minute.
No, it just sounded racist. No soup for you.
from Seinfeld.
I know. I saw that at the restaurant. A lot of people will know what it means. I don't watch Seinfeld, but I did see that clip.
I haven't watched Seinfeld since like the 90s.
Right. That clip is still used all over social media. But cool.
I just heard an accent. I thought maybe she was trying to tell me.
I thought so too.
I'm just kidding.
No, because then I would say ching chong chong or something like how Troy would do it, but that's not me.
I know.
I'm not that type of person.
Maybe inside you are, and that's how that joke came out from you.
No.
The truth is coming out.
I'm not a douche canoe like you, okay?
Oh.
Dang. Can I lock that basement door from up here?
You would.
I know. All right. Well, if that's it, thanks for tagging along, everyone who's listening or watching.
Yeah.
Check us
out. Make
out.
sure you subscribe.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube as we're doing that. If you want to see our faces, we'll be posting evidence there and videos. When we do the Adam's school in freaking Florida, we will probably make that into a full-length episode. People have liked that.
I mean,
depending on how much footage we take, but we'll kind of make it into a TV series looking kind of thing. So, and you can see some of the boringness as well as the real. So
it might be multi parts.
Yeah. We'll play it by ear, but we're going to post all that on YouTube. So check us out,
That's
subscribe.
Going to be several hours, and then we have to go through evidence and all that.
Right. So yeah,
they don't want to see all the boring stuff. They just want to see the exciting stuff.
Yeah, but you have to put some of the boring in there so they understand.
Yeah, I mean, we'll show them the some of the boring, but then
most of it will be the.
You could always Facebook Live it.
We could do a little bit of that. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's not a bad idea. Look at you with an idea here and there.
Facebook Live it so they could see the process, and then we can record it. Do one section of that, and then we could go through the evidence and talk about it all.
Yeah, or we just do 1 7-hour video and let them watch the whole damn video.
Or we could discuss this
with
off
no
of
evidence.
The podcast.
Right.
Because I'm sure everyone's like,
I'm sure everybody, if they have an idea of what they want, they can let us know.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
Too.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Feel better, Adam.
Thanks.
Bye, Adam.
Bye.
Cure the herpes.